What's going on, guys? A bunch of you been waiting for this video. I'm going to be sharing my final custom roster for NHL 23. This includes all the free agent signings, all the trades, updated prospect ratings based on the 2023 draft. So hopefully you guys have fun with this one. It'll hold you over till NHL 24 comes out in like, what, 2.5 months or so. Also, too, you guys wouldn't mind, leave a thumbs up on this video. It is a ton of work making these rosters. I would really appreciate it. So I'm going to show you right now what the new roster's name is. Easiest way to find it is searching my name, TacTixHD. And as my most recent roster, TacTixHD roster 3, as you guys can see, I literally just put it up. 0 people have downloaded it. Date uploaded July 29th. That's what you got to look for. You can see the description there, match it up. Obviously, to download this, you have to be on Xbox Series X or S. Unfortunately, there's no, cross-play for roster share, which really sucks. I'd love for all of you guys to be able to download my roster, but that's why I make these videos. That way I can go through and you can kind of, use some of the things I do on your roster. Also, too, guys, really quick, I want to thank all you guys so much for downloading my rosters. As you guys can see, we're the second and third most downloaded rosters. And honestly, I had like no chance of competing with Vasi's roster, which he uploaded, I think, like the first week the game was out. So if you don't count that one, like, we're 1 and 2, which I think is pretty crazy. So again, thank you guys so much for support on these. Quickly here, I'll show you all the custom players. Not a ton of changes here. Mostly small things. Fantilli's now an 81. Adam Jarechek's medium top 4 opposed to high. Now, one big thing would be I added Artem Levshinov here to the game. He's projected to go top 5 in the 2024 draft. He had a really good season this year playing in the USHL. He's actually going to play for Michigan State next year, which is going to be, kind of cool. We'll see how he does playing against, my Michigan Wolverines. Now, as you guys can see here, I'm going to 76 overall, medium elite. You guys can see all the stats there. Two-way defender with a pretty good offensive game. Should end up going, top 5 in the draft. Rest of the guys here, Alex Zetterberg, I had me elite before, now medium top 6. Most people projecting him to go late first round. So, always updating ratings, potentials based on mock drafts. Cole Eiserman there. Actually gave him a slight boost. Same with Celebrini. Just to make them a bit higher rated out of the draft. Looking at everyone else here, Daniel Boot. Obviously, I gave him a bit of a rating boost based on where the Coyotes drafted him. I still think it was too high. Same with Simonchev there. He's also gotten a rating boost. Now he's a 70 high top 4. Before he was like 65, medium top 4 is something like that. And Demidov here, just like Celebrini and Eiserman, I gave a ratings boost too, so he should go top 5 in your franchises. Again, he's kind of like Michkov light. Speaking of, I'll show you guys what Michkov's looking like here. I know a lot of you guys said I should make him like 65 out of the draft, but the one worry with that is like he doesn't grow fast enough, because when he comes over to the NHL, in 3 years, he should be already like a mid to high 80, kind of like Kaprizov, immediately, competing, being a star. If he's a 65 or something, and in 3 years he's still only like a low 80, it doesn't make sense to me. So basically, if you draft him, you can hold him out of the league for a bit like real life, but if the computers do, he'll probably make the NHL within 1, maybe 2 years, which I think is fine, honestly. We're not going to always have it perfectly exact. Oliver Moore there, still a high top 6. I think he to the Blackhawks got a steal on him. Rick DiPietro is in the game on the alumni team. That's prime DiPietro if you guys want to use him. Ryan Leonard there, medium elite, bunch of X factors. I think gave him a bit of a boost as well. Everyone else, I think, for the most part, it's the same. Willander here actually was not in my roster. I made sure to add him. I think that was just an oversight by me before. 68 high top 4, I think is pretty fair for where he got drafted. Will Smith, I think, no changes to either. Zane Perek actually gave a bit of an upgrade too. Now high top 4, some X factors. Obviously, too, guys, the big thing is I put through all the free agent signings. Now, I should say, I put through all of the one-way contract free agent signings. I didn't do all the 2 ways just because it would have taken me so long. Like, this already took a ton of time, and obviously it being the summer, I'm not sure how many people are going to download the roster, but I still think it's in a great spot. Like you can see, Radko Gudas there on the Ducks, the Coyotes here, Jason Zucker, you'll see, $15 million 1-year deal. So if you see anything weird like that, it's to make sure that the team's cap compliant. This, of course, makes sure the Coyotes hit that cap minimum just in the first year. Then he's got the $5.3 million deal he signed in real life as an extension. You guys can see all the extensions there, like Michelli, etc. have all, been added. So Boston, no more Bergeron. He's retired. He's out of the game. Not in free agency, anything like that. Now, a player like Krejci, who hasn't made up his mind yet, he's still on the team, but he's on an expiring deal. So, he could retire. He could resign with Boston. He could go somewhere else. We don't know, so I'm just going to leave him there and kind of let the sim decide. Now, quickly, guys, we're just going through kind of all the top players here. Carolina, for instance, I made sure to add that big extension to Aho. That way he doesn't go to free agency like he did in my most recent franchise. You can see the Orlov extension. DeAngelo's on the team there. Chicago, they got Taylor Hall, obviously. No Connor Bedard. Some people thought I should put all the real-life prospects in the 2023 draft on their NHL teams, but because you can't change prospect ages, I would literally have to take the real Bedard with the face, make him like 50 overall, 0 potential, and then make a custom Bedard, put him on Chicago, and I don't know, I just don't really like that. I like to actually like see the faces. I think we'll just have a different draft, and if it doesn't go the same way, it's kind of better than the alternative. You guys can see the Avs there, the Blue Jackets. Obviously, they got Provorov, Severson there. So just kind of going through, showing you all the top player ratings and potentials. Again, this is for anyone who doesn't have Series X or S. Of course, DeBrincat there on the Red Wings, his extension, Larkin's extension. Gostisbehere there, Comfort. McDavid, of course, still the highest rated player in the game. I think Florida here, obviously, they lost Duclair. LA Kings, they brought in Pierre-Luc Dubois. Also, two guys I should know, like Kopitar here, 2 years left at $10 million. Then we got the extension, $7 million for 2 years after that. So pretty much, I think everything, is done here. Now, one thing I should note, a player like, say, Matt Dumba hasn't signed with the new team yet. Rather than putting him in free agency early, I decided to just leave on Minnesota. He can resign there, or he can join somebody new. Again, we don't know what's going to happen in real life. Again, I'm just letting the sim decide. You guys can see Newhook there, his extension. Nashville's going to be such an interesting team this year. Like, all the moves they made, tons of cap buyout. And one thing I should mention with Nashville, for instance, the Duchesne buyout essentially cost them $0 in my game. And I think it's kind of fair because they also made trade, like the Ekholm trade where they got draft picks back, which unfortunately they didn't get back in game because you can't move picks. So it kind of all works out. They get screwed on the picks, but they get extra cap space. Kind of like the only way to do it. Devils there with Meyer. Again, guys, just quickly kind of showing you all the top players on each team. You guys can see the ratings, their potentials that they've changed. Similar to Dumba, Patty Kane's on the Rangers. We made sure to add Wheeler. He's making $800K that first year because otherwise the Rangers would be over the side cap max. So kind of the opposite of the Coyotes. Certain guys had lower. Ottawa here, obviously, Tarasenko. They got the Stuchel extension. Philadelphia here, obviously looking pretty weak after trading away all those guys. Penguins here, they've brought in a few guys like Riley Smith. San Jose Sharks here, of course. Carlson's 90 overall. It was really tough to give him a rating. I think that's fair, though. He's like an all-offensive defenseman. He's actually got 99 offensive awareness there, so he'll be a beast in the sim for at least the first few years. The Kraken there, of course. Matty Beniers, Calder winner, 84 overall. Where you guys can see St. Louis, Tampa Bay, of course, they lost Killorn. The Maple Leafs, I got Matthews, 94, medium franchise. Marner, 92, high elite. Nylander, 89. Tavares there. I know everyone always wonders, like, the top four, would I get their ratings? I think those are pretty fair. Obviously, I'm sure people are going to argue those, but I think they're fair. Petey there's 90 high elite. Quinn Hughes also, high elite. So Canucks got some top players. They always just do so well in the sim. Vegas there too. I think everyone actually has their real contracts now because with trading away Smith, I think they lost somebody else. They're no longer over the side cap max. Washington here bringing in Pacioretty makes them very, very deadly in the sim. Winnipeg, of course, no more Dubois. And next year, guys, I'm going to show you the ratings and potentials for some of the top prospects. So Nate Danielson there got a bit of a boost. He's now 69 high top 6. Few X factors there. There's a Kamloops. You can see Zellweger, medium elite, Stankoven, high top 6. Zellweger is just way underrated in EA's game. And then next year, guys, you got Andrew Crystal, who I lowered to medium top 6. Obviously, he fell to the second round. Even a guy like Caden Price, high top 6. I had a medium top 4 before, but he's another guy who fell a little bit. Brady Yeager, you guys can see 70 high top 6. Should go mid first round. Prince George Cougars here, Riley Heidt ended up being, I think, the last pick in the second round, so low elite, he should end up going around there. Zemer, medium top 9, he was like a third round pick. If you guys are curious about Bedard, 85 high franchise, dude's a beast, shocking on his own ability. That is all his stats. Now, everyone in Seattle, I think, is already drafted, but you guys can see a ton of, like, top players there. Spokane Chiefs, Berkeley Catton here, he'll be a top pick 2024. Owen Pickering, Clark Caswell, I lowered him a bit, was too high previously. Lucas Dragicevic made sure to make offensive defenseman. You guys were saying no defense to his game. Jordan Gavin there. Samuel Honzek gave a pretty big upgrade too. Calgary took him in the first round. Finally here you got Winnipeg Ice, Savoy, Zach Benson. I think it's pretty much the exact same. Geeky Lambos. Now in terms of the OHL, you got Bo Akey there as a medium top 4. Erie has Malcolm Spence, going to be top player 2025, I believe. Amadeus Lombardi, pretty good prospect for the Red Wings. Now, Cam Allen here, I lowered all the way to low top 4, which is pretty crazy. Like, when this game first came out, I think I made him medium elite because that was where he was supposed to go, like top 10 pick in the draft. It just did not have a very good season. You guys can see everyone else here. London, Sam Dickinson, of course, going to be a top 10 pick 2024. Oliver Bonk was just taken first round 2023. Easton Cowan there was obviously tough to do, late first round by the Leafs, which they said was a reach. So 65 high top 9 seemed pretty fair. Denver Bark, he's a medium top 9. Porter Martone, medium elite, 15-year-old. Could be a top pick 2025. Beckett Sinek here, another player, should go first round 2024. You guys can see Callum Ritchie there. Ottawa 67s. Of course, you got Henry Muse. He's top pick in 2024 as well. Corey Barlow decided to go high top 6 opposed to medium elite again, based on where he got drafted. Second on here, you got Michael Misa, of course, an absolute beast. 70 overall, high elite. Give me the top pick in 2025. Starting here's got Cairo. I also made sure to lower Benjamin Gaudreau's rating because he was drafted, then he actually went back into the draft and went undrafted, so I kind of had to do that, but I still feel like he could be a decent goalie. Andrew Gibson, local kid from LaSalle, medium top 4, was actually Red Wings' first pick in the second round. Quentin Musty there, again, makes sense for a late first. Shane Wright, Liam Greentree should be a first round pick this year. Same with Anthony Cristoforo there, so pretty cool to see a couple Spitfires going high. Should mention too, Misa, first overall, 2025. first overall 2026 guy, McKenna. That's what I have him at, 70 medium franchise, all the X factors there. Dude's gonna be a beast. And in terms of the queue here, guys, I got Justin Poirier with a couple X factors. I noticed in my franchise it came with its own ability, and that's because I didn't have any X factors on him. And when you do that, the game will actually just generate some for them if they have a decent potential. Thomas Lavoie there actually should be a pretty good player in the 2024 draft. Same with Maxim Massey there. Again, obviously, with this far out, you know, the 2024 draft, it could go not at all what we think. So I'm just kind of doing my best guess. Jordan Dumais there, of course, tore up the queue. Cataford, Zachary LaRue. Etienne Morin here, unfortunately, has his age wrong by EA, so I gave him a bit of a ratings boost because of that, but still, medium top 4, Gaucher there, Zachary Bolduc. Gave him a couple X factors. Ethan Gauthier there, 66 medium top 6, should go late first round, early second. Joshua Watt. Made sure to upgrade him. Also, too, in goal in the Victoriaville Tigers, we got Gabriel Daigle. He's supposed to be the top goalie available in the 2025 draft, so I made sure to give him medium elite, bunch of X factors. I think I didn't actually have that in my previous roster. Also, guys, a few more of the top prospects in the Euro League. So right there's Leo Carlson, 80 overall high elite. So he's one below Fantilli, which means he still could get drafted above him. Like, you know, the teams don't always get it perfect. Aaron Kivahardu here, 75 overall medium elite. I think he came out at like 78 in my franchise. So it seems like prospects grow about 3 overall per year after the first. For instance, Salah was in the 2023 draft. If I make him a 68, he'll be in the draft at 68. Obviously, had to lower him from medium elite, as he ended up being picked like, what, 20th by the Kraken? And now, again, there was a ton of controversy around in terms of where he got picked. David Reinbacher, of course, went 5th overall the Canadians. So I asked on Twitter what you guys think I should give him, and the majority said high top 4. It was pretty close, though, so I decided to make him higher rated. That way he should still be a top 10 pick. And with him, too, I asked on Twitter, Dvorsky, high top 6 or medium elite. This one was more overwhelming on the side of high top 6, but I improved his rating as well, too, because he's one of the more NHL-ready guys. Also, too, I fixed his X factors, made him a two-way forward there. Should be a bit more authentic to the real-life player. So I think that's pretty much it, guys, for the ratings, the prospects. I do want to do a quick, you know, sim here, just see what happens in free agency, where the players go in the draft, and just kind of show you guys if it's realistic or not. And now one more thing before we do that, guys. I always get asked, how do you retire players? So it's super easy. You go to rosters, player movement, go to the team that the retired player's on. So say like Bergeron, for instance, was on Boston. You then go to international, pick a team you're not going to be using. So for me, I was using Korea. As you guys can see, that's where Patrice Bergeron is. So if you want him, he's there. You can go take him out, put him wherever you want. Best defensive forward in the game, 99 D awareness there. But you guys can see a ton of other retired players there as well. Also, too, in Kazakhstan, you guys can see I got Jonathan Toews, as it's seeming like he's most likely retiring. So we're playing the odds there. Darren Helm, again, all the guys that retired, I made sure to remove. And of course, the sim, guys, I'll give you an update look at all the team ratings. And in the Pacific there, you can see the Ducks and the Sharks are tied for the lowest. The Flames are actually the highest rated team, 91. One above Vegas. I think that just kind of shows you how much they underperformed last season. In the Central, no surprises. Chicago, Arizona, the worst. And then the best there's the Avs at 90. Atlantic, the worst teams, Montreal, 85. And then the best there, Tampa Bay and Boston, 91. Boston's still quite high rated, even after all those players they lost. The Metro there, Philly's the worst team at 84. Best team's Carolina, 92. Such a stacked defense, still got Freddie Anderson. And now Washington, though, very highly rated as well at 91. And now if you're playing with my roster, guys, here are my recommended settings. Have the sim engine scoring set to medium with the shot frequency set to high. I find that gives the most realistic point totals. Also, to have both the draft class quality and prospect quality set to low. Just because I have so many creative prospects, the first like 3 or 4 years, the drafts are going to be pretty good. And then after that, they might not be quite as good, but honestly, they're still in a good spot, especially with all like the good young prospects already in the game. If you have it set to medium, or for some reason even set it to high, I find the league gets too diluted with good talent. It's just not realistic anymore. So those are my suggestions to you guys. Same with gameplay sliders here. I put attribute effects at 9 out of 10. So a simple way to look at this is like the good players are going to do better than bad players 9 out of 10 times. Obviously, there's still a little bit of, you know, RNG luck involved. That's why we don't go 10 out of 10, but it's a lot better than the default 5 out of 10. All right, guys, so just sim through the first year. As you can see there, the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup, which I think, you know, relatively realistic. They're definitely like a pretty good team. The Vegas Golden Knights actually won the President's Trophy. You got Edmonton, Colorado. Biggest surprise here, I guess, would be Vancouver. Ottawa, 96 points. I mean, they made some good additions. Detroit as well up there. So, so far, Columbus gets in. Boston just missed the same with the Rangers. Nashville, 19th team they get in because of bad Central. Okay, I mean, I could see that happening. Pittsburgh missing. Honestly, it's not terribly realistic. I think the most unrealistic thing would be the Devils only having 77 points. They're definitely going to be a very good team next season. And now look at the entire league here, guys. You got Matthews finished with 99 points. Honestly, pretty surprising not to see a single person put up 100. This is a bit of an outlier based on, you know, my sims. Wow. So as I show this to you guys, McDavid only has 86. Usually guys score more than that, but I guess not this year. Also, too, guys, in terms of defensive scoring, you got Cale Makar there with 77. I've seen him put up 102 in the first year, which is pretty crazy. The sim loves gossip around Detroit. I mean, we need an offensive defenseman. Puts up 76, gets second. Yossi, Sergeyev, Carlson. I mean, the rest of these names, I would say, make sense. And I wrap the draft, guys. I just simmed through the first 2 rounds. Of course, you got Bedard there going first overall. Michkov second, again, because of the medium franchise. You got Fantilli 3, Carlson 4. Smith goes 5 to the Sharks. It's actually perfect. Leonard there, Benson 7, Dvorsky 8, Reinbacher 9, Moore 10. I mean, this really isn't that terrible. Maybe more, I should have made a little bit lower rated. So we went closer to 15, but I mean, overall, it's really not that bad. Like, Jaeger's the same rating. Danielson's only one overall lower. Matthew Wood's a 68. Like, you probably can actually go to 15 depending on the scouting and whatnot. Willander there at 15. Barlow, Sandapalika. I'm pretty sure we drafted him with the 17th pick, so that's perfect. Yeah, like, overall, looking at this draft, Crystal is a late first. That's fine. Salah there. I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously, it's not going to be the exact same every single time. Drake Bonk there was a late first-round pick. Lindstein, I believe, was the last first-round pick in the draft by the Blues. He was a later first-round pick, that's for sure. Now, Dragicevic here is going a little bit early. He was a late second in real life, so I'm probably going to change his potential to low elite. By the time you guys watch this, that will be done. Second round there, Musty first pick. I mean, pretty close to him going late first. Gibson's getting drafted right around when he got taken by the Red Wings. Melendijk there should have went late first. I'll probably upgrade him to like 65, 66. Easton Cowan early second. It's about as close as we're going to get. Again, Leafs, did reach a bit. But overall, I think this is like pretty good. Like, it's never going to be perfect. Hype there, you got a late second round pick. Bjarnson in the second. I'm happy with this. And now just into the 2024 season, guys, some interesting results here. Buffalo has a pretty bad year. They finished 4th last, but they get the first overall pick, Macklin Celebrini. Carolina there wasn't a terrible team. They did miss the playoffs. They jumped from 10 to 2, so probably taking Cole Yzerman. Chicago was the last place team. Arizona was second last, so as you'd expect. The Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup. Leafs fans, you finally get it. We'll see whether or not they can actually pull that off in real life. I see Larkin had a big year, 95 points. Kucherov, though, popped off, 114. Followed by Eichel, Pastrnak, Matthews, Draisaitl, and Nylander. There's McDavid, 98. Again, as I mentioned, Larkin, 95. McAvoy, 96. That is a bit incredible, obviously. Sometimes some weird stuff happens, but definitely a higher scoring year here. Gostisbehere, again, had a very good season. And in terms of the entire league, guys, Maple Leafs actually won the President's Trophy. Montreal, second. Wow. So their young players, which just came along. Boston, third. The Atlantic, crushing, because Detroit got 6th. That's a little bit worrisome. Florida, 9th. If the Atlantic ends up being that good, that's not a good sign. We'll see here. So we mentioned Chicago, Arizona at the bottom. Philly, Buffalo doesn't really make a ton of sense. Same thing with Pittsburgh. St. Louis, I could see that. I don't know. I think, like, overall, again, the Sim's never going to be perfect, but it's pretty decent. And now just into the first round of the 2024 draft. As you guys can see there, Celebrini goes first overall. You then have made-up guys going second and third, which is why we go low, because they could sometimes even be in the 2023 draft, and they're always going to be in the drafts after. Demidov there goes 4, Yzerman 5, Levshinov there at 6, Kevahardju, Berkey Catton, Hellenis. I mean, I'm actually liking this. Looks like pretty good. Now, Vastin here's another guy I'll have fixed by the time you guys download the roster. He should be medium top 4 now. He's supposed to go late first round. That's just me missing a guy because there's just so many moving parts. You got Dickinson there, Massey, Howe, Muse, Zane Parekh. I mean, that's Kuznetsov guys made up. Honestly, Liam Greentree you guys can see, Sinek. This looks pretty decent. Zetterberg is a late first rounder. Luke Misa here should probably be a medium top 9, not medium top 6. I think he's going to go like second round, so I'll fix that as well. But I mean, the rest of this, Yamachuk there, he's looking good. Probably going to be a first rounder. You got Vinny there, last pick in the first round by the Leafs. So yeah, I feel like both drafts are in a pretty decent spot, especially once I do those 2 tweaks. And the last thing I want to do here, guys, is show you the free agency for 2024. I meant to do it in 2023 as well, but honestly, it would just be like who's ever still available in real life. That should be available in the game. So Patrick Kane, Matt Dumba, etc. Sebastian Aho here, extension did not work. So I'll have to fix that. Ante Kopitar, same thing. They had 2 years left plus the extensions. What I'll probably do is just have their new contract kick in a year early. That's like really dumb. Also too, guys, I just noticed both Sider and Raymond went to free agency and they're not RFAs. At first I was thinking like, what is wrong with my roster? Then I realized I'm the Red Wings GM. I didn't qualify them. That's why that happened. I got Gensel there in free agency, Pacioretty, Tanev, Reinhart. So yeah, I guess all I really gotta do is fix the Kopitar and Aho issue. Really sucks that that is a thing, but pretty minor, obviously, in the grand scheme. And I think the next time I see you guys for Custom Roster will be NHL 24, so see you guys then.